Hi you guys, welcome, välkomna, добро пожаловать. My name is Salmansa Rogers and today's Friday and it's another episode of True Crime Stories with Sal. Hope you guys had a very amazing holiday season, Christmas, New Year's. Hope you guys spend a lot of quality time with your family or just by yourself, regaining some more positive energy, recharging the batteries. I hope you guys honestly had an amazing December. I definitely had some very much needed quality time with loved ones, with myself, just kind of like writing down what I want to do for this year, 2022. I don't really believe in what's it called, New Year's resolution, New Year, New Me bullshit. Sorry. For those that do, I'm sorry, but I don't. I just, kind of like, I believe in, bettering myself. Just because it's a new year doesn't matter. You should better yourself every day, every single week. So, but I have goals definitely, and I always write them down. And I believe in affirmations, and I have my little affirmation book. I write down my affirmations every day. So, definitely needed that just to kind of like recharge my battery. Took a break from all the crime, all the evil, all the killing. So, but I'm back. I'm actually missed it. Sounds very weird, but I missed you guys and I missed talking about true crime. So I'm very excited to be back with more episodes this year. Yeah, so cheers. By the way, I'm drinking light roast today. So it's a dark black coffee, but it's a light roast. I heard that light roast is actually more caffeinated, more caffeine in light roast than dark roast. I always thought that dark roast was the strongest, but apparently, right, light roast is stronger. So for those that are caffeine addicts like me, just saying, if you want more caffeine and more energy, so get yourself a light roast. And as promised, today we're gonna talk about a unsolved case. So as you guys know and been following me for a while, I'll be doing every third video will be an unsolved true crime story, and today is that third video. A quick disclaimer and little warning: I will be talking about disappearance, and I will be talking about possible murder. And I always ask you guys to keep it very positive and respectful in the comments. You never know who is watching or reading comments or stumble across my videos. Could be a loved one of the victim or friend or what have you. So like I always said, if you wouldn't tell your grandma, then don't put it in writing. Be respectful always. You never know. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump into today's crime story. Today we are going to discuss the tragic disappearance of Christopher Thompkins, a 20-year-old man, young man, who actually disappeared almost 20 years ago to the date. So on January 25th, 2002. So it's coming up. His 20-year anniversary is coming up, which is so sad. And the family still haven't got any answers, still haven't got any closure. And unfortunately, there's not that much information about Christopher's disappearance. But I still felt like it's important to bring his name and awareness to his case. On January 25th, 2002 was like a normal morning, I guess. I believe it was a Friday. And Christopher, he was, getting ready to go to work. He still lived with his mom. And according to his mom, he was his normal self, nothing out of the ordinary. So he said bye to his mom and he left for work around 8 a.m. And he worked as a survey person, or I don't know, yeah. So basically the ones that work on the roads and what have you, inserting a picture here so you guys can see. I hope I pronounced it correctly. But anyway, so he arrived to his job site and he parked his car, and then they drove off. He drove off with a coworker, and that day they were signed to be 4 people, so including Christopher, so 3 men plus Christopher, so 4 people, and they were working on this road highway And by the way, this is actually, I don't think I mentioned the place, but this is in Atlanta, in Georgia. So they were working on this road, and just to kind of like set the picture, I will also insert some pictures so you guys can see. As you can see, it's a kind of like a wooded area, but not overkill. According to reports, there is a church nearby, a couple of farmhouses nearby. So it's not like completely isolated, wooded, rural area. So it is like, people live there. I think it's also some like stores close by to kind of like a little village, food market or what have you. But they were working that day, and one source claimed that the workers were hearing strange noises coming from the woods. And again, this is just one source. I'm not saying it's false. I'm not saying it's true. So just interpret it as you want. And they were hearing strange noises coming out of the woods. And then during lunch break, they were kind of like discussing, like, what do you think that was, what have you. But they didn't think anything of it. According to the co-workers of Christopher, after lunch, they all went back to their normal duties, and they kind of like spread 50 feet apart from each other working on this road. So it would always be like say a person, and then 50 feet behind him would be another worker, and so on. And in that line of 4 men, Christopher was the last person, but they could still see each other. So definitely Christopher and whoever is in front of him see each other clearly, and then whoever is in front of that person sees. So it's like maybe the first person and the last person is not like really like clear viewed of each other, but definitely everyone had a person, so that they see. So 50 feet is not a lot at all if you measure it. And according to the person that was next to 50 feet away from Christopher, they were having like a casual conversation while they were doing their work. And, Christopher would say something and then that man would say something back, and they were like kind of talking during, their work. And all of a sudden, the coworker asked Chris something, and he didn't answer. So the coworker looked back, and Chris were literally like vanished, like disappeared. And he was like, wait, did he just go to the bathroom, or like, go step away to the forest to kind of like, pee, what have you. But then after a few minutes, Christopher was still not back, or they didn't hear anything. He kind of notified the other 2 men in front of him and like, hey, Christopher is MIA. I don't know what's going on. Like, he literally was just here. We were talking, having a normal conversation. And then 3 minutes, 2 minutes after, like, he's gone. And so they start searching for him around the area. They went into the forest. They were yelling for him. And close by to their workplace, or the road that they're working on, was a barbed wired fence. And they saw his work boot hanging there. And this is something that I personally, when I heard the story and I kind of researched it, as you guys can see on this picture here, how the boot is hanging, it literally looked like someone like just neatly hanged it there. Like, I feel like, say if Christopher was like running away and like trying to jump the fence, and his boot got caught, I feel like it would be like caught but then fall to the ground. But this looks just like, to me personally, that something like someone was placing it it hangs too perfect for me, like kind of like a Christmas ornament. Doesn't look like a stressful situation, boot came off, and then so just FYI. 4 hours later, still no Christopher. The co-workers decided to call the authorities. So they called the sheriff's office and reported Christopher missing. But according to the police and the sheriff's office, since Christopher was a considered adult, he was 20 years old, they couldn't file a missing persons report until 24 hours later. And according to one source that I read upon, one of the co-workers actually contacted his own wife to tell her that Christopher was missing before he even called the authorities or any or Christopher's relatives or anything. And also another thing, Christopher's mother didn't get the news about her son being missing until later that afternoon. So it's already been like a good 6 hours or 7, a good hours basically passed. As soon as the Christopher's mother found out that her son was missing since this morning, she panicked. She called the police, and the police basically told her the same thing. Since Christopher is an adult, they cannot file a missing persons report until 24 hours later. And this is the thing as well. I always actually believed the 24-hour rule, but apparently that's not how it works. Maybe that was the rule back in 2002, but definitely not now. Doesn't matter how old you are. You don't have to wait 24 hours to file a missing persons report. Something to note, by the way. I didn't know that, but so yeah, that's actually very important to know, just in case. According to the coworkers and the boss that owned the survey company, the reason why they didn't contact the mother until hours later was because they couldn't find her information, or some sources claim that that was the reason for them not calling the mother. But just to note that Christopher's mother actually hooked Christopher up with this job, because you see, Christopher's boss is also Christopher's mother's boss, because Christopher's mother is actually kind of like a babysitter or a nanny, what have you, to that man that owned this survey company. And that's how Christopher's mother basically introduced her son to him, and that's how Christopher got this job. So in my opinion, it's like they know each other. If you babysit someone's kids, you definitely have their contact info handy, So I don't know, again, if that source is correct, if that's the reason why they didn't call the mother until hours later, but just putting it out there, that's claiming to one source. So 24 hours later, the sheriff's department and the police, everyone, when gathered at that area where Christopher was last seen, they went through that area. The police also found like blue fabric that belonged to Christopher's blue work pants that day that he was wearing, and also some coins, like some change, So basically, like, the theory is that if he was running away or running for someone, that, like, he was in a rush, in a hurry, jumped the fence, ripped his pants, change came out of his pockets, and he lost his boot. And very quickly, the police actually ruled Christopher's disappearance as a runaway. Like, they basically told his mother that the police believed that Christopher just decided to run away. Maybe didn't want to tell anyone. Maybe he was, going through some things, and he just thought that this was going to be a good idea, just to run away. And another thing is, upon being interviewed by the police, Christopher's boss, so the same man that Christopher's mother also worked for, he claims that Christopher were acting very strange a few days prior to his disappearance. But according to Christopher's mother, she cannot recall none of that happening. She said that her son was his funny old self. He had no signs of depression, or he was not taking any drugs or medicine. So she definitely didn't agree with the statement that he was acting weird prior to his disappearance. Days became weeks, and weeks became months, and still no sighting or no clues or traces of Christopher. 3 months later, after his disappearance, this farmer that lived close by, like 90 miles close to the site that Christopher worked on and was last seen on, he was walking around his property, and one particular part of his property has like a swampy area, and he actually never walks there because it's very like swampy or what have you. But this time he was walking his dog, and they were like kind of like coming across it. And in that area, he actually found a boot that didn't belong to him, and he called the authorities. The police came out there, and it turns out to be the second boot that belonged to Christopher. So they found the first boot that day that he disappeared, and then now this farmer found his second boot. And according to the police, they of course searched the area, but no other clues or evidence or pieces of Christopher were ever found. I also couldn't find in my research any mentioning of like dogs or like sniffer dogs or yeah, any type of like search dogs, because I feel like especially if someone goes missing in a wooded foresty area, they definitely always bring out sniffer dogs to kind of sniff out the scent and what have you. But I don't think in this case, unfortunately, they brought out any sniffer dogs. So, what happened to Christopher? Well, it's a lot of theories going on that this could be something of like a supernatural phenomenon. A lot of people believe or say that this could be like some sort of a portal that Christopher walked into and just disappear. Another theory is Bigfoot, that Christopher possibly could have been abducted by Bigfoot or be basically attacked by an animal or what have you. Or the third theory is that he actually, ran away and, didn't want to say anything to anyone and kind of like want to be low key about it and then just disappear. One thing that just doesn't sit right with me when it comes to the say Bigfoot or animal attack is that literally like if that was the case, no one heard him scream. Like no one, especially the man that was 50 feet in front of him, would hear something. If someone came out of the woods, grabbed him, you would hear some bushes break. You would hear some maybe, I don't know, like stumping on the ground, gravel, so you would hear. Like I don't believe that just the Bigfoot came, a huge Bigfoot come from the forest, grabs Christopher quietly and just disappears. So I don't believe that an animal attack or a Bigfoot, grabbed him. And also another thing, they never found any blood traces or any human tissue or anything around the area. So that's another thing that doesn't support this theory for me, that if it is an animal attack, there will certainly be some blood and there will certainly be some screams. That leaves us with the final theory that a lot of people believe in. It's that Christopher's co-workers have something to do with his disappearance. But according to the police, all three of the men went through a lie detector test and passed. And all three of the men had the same story. They were saying the same thing. It's hard to, if someone is guilty, if say a party of three people is guilty, it's hard for all three of them to keep kind of like the same story. But it's definitely not impossible if you rehearsed it several times, if you practice, especially if you planned out this type of attack or murder or disappearance, make someone disappear like that. It's not impossible to rehearse the same story over and over, so it kind of stick in your head. And another thing to point out is that two of the co-workers were actually convicted felons. They had some charges, I believe, like assault charges against them as well. And one of the co-workers also lawyered up very quickly after this after this disappearance, which is not that uncommon. Of course, if you are being, if you're last person to see a person who disappeared, and that the police gonna look into you very, very thoroughly, definitely you might want to lawyer up just in case. So it's not like super uncommon, but just kind of put it out there. And also, so basically, Christopher's mom and family believes that definitely the co-workers have something to do with it, or they know more than what they say. And same thing with the police. A lot of people think that the police know more than what they say, or release more. They know more details than what they have released on this case. But yeah, that's basically it for this case. In my personal opinion, I definitely don't believe in animal or Sasquatch or Bigfoot attack. Not say that I don't believe in Bigfoot. I mean, I haven't seen a Bigfoot, but I know it's a lot of theories out there. I do believe in the supernatural, and I'm open-minded to it. But it just, in this case, I don't know, it just seems a little bit impossible, because again, like, a Bigfoot is not a ghost. If he was out there, he would definitely would leave some footprint behind as well, like on the grass or on the gravel or what have you. So I definitely think that this is definitely foul play involved, and I personally believe that the coworkers know more than what they say. And it's so unfortunate, because this case definitely didn't got a lot of media coverage whatsoever. I never heard of this case before until I came across it. But and also, I feel like the police didn't do any, like, clear, like, investigation. Maybe, again, maybe they did, but they not releasing it. But I feel like, according to Christopher's mother, they kind of like just shrug it off as a runaway. And I feel like, I mean, a mother knows her son better than anyone, and I feel like if she didn't suspect Christopher to run away or have plans of running away, I don't feel like that could be the case. And I don't, like, according to what I could find, there was no reason for him to just up and run away. He didn't have any debts, or, like, he was not owing anyone money, or he didn't do anything, like, to just wanted to disappear and start a new life. So I feel like, I don't know, it's sad. It's very, very sad. And I hope 20 years, I mean, it's 20 years now. I hope, hopefully this year, hopefully next year, that this case can be solved. And I'm also going to leave a number to the sheriff's office. If you guys have heard of this case or know anything, or know someone that knows someone, please call the number. Any little tip would help out this case tremendously. My darlings, that was pretty much it for today's case. I know it's a little bit short one, or shorter. Again, there was not a lot of information about this case, which I feel like it's very, very unfortunate. But I feel like, even if it is just a little bit information, it's still very crucial to get this word spread out, even though you never know. Again, you never know who stumbles up on this page. You never know who knows someone that knows someone. So I honestly don't mind. I don't care, as long as his name is still mentioned, his face picture, people can see it and maybe spark some memories. But yeah, that's it for today's case. I hope you guys liked it. Let me know what you guys think. I want to see what your theories are. Do you believe in the Sasquatch, Bigfoot theory? Do you believe in the animal attack? Or if it is some mysterious portal out there in the woods that, that Christopher just accidentally step into and, disappeared? Or if you think that the coworkers had something to do with it, please let me know in the comments. But again, keep it respectful, and be mindful of what you are putting in the comments. We don't need no more hate than it is. The world is already despicable. We don't need no more hate and dark comments in the comment section. For those that are new here, I noticed that my following subscription number went up a few. Thank you for following me or subscribing to my channel. Hope you guys enjoy true crime stories as much as I do. I'm so happy to be back, and I hope I see you guys next Friday. Don't forget to like, and please share this video, or share the link. If you know someone that knows someone that knows someone that loves true crime, please send them my way. I appreciate it so much. I love you guys. Please stay safe. Take care of yourself. And remember, 2022, let's focus on our mental health, okay? It's so freaking important. The way you treat yourself is the way you will treat others. So please take care of yourself, love yourself, and have a beautiful weekend. And I see you guys next Friday. Ciao, cacao.